This episode of Nicknames Movies is brought to you by Sticky Hands.
Like those little hands, those little like Jello hands that you throw on the wall.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, this is fun for like a minute.
And then
No.
they get stuck on one part of the drywall that you
Yeah,
can't.
and then you forget about it for like 2 months, and then when you find it next, it's still like sticky, but it also has like a bunch of cat hair on it.
Cat hair
And
and
you're
like
like,
popcorn
Ugh,
bits. And, yeah.
I need to throw this away, but I don't want to touch it. I don't know why. There's no rhyme or reason. Don't ask. I said don't ask.
I'm not asking. This is probably getting
You
edited out
look-
because I haven't even done the intro
You
yet.
looked like you wanted to ask.
No, I was looking at you because I was listening. Like a
How
responsible.
dare you, sir?
You're not gonna let me intro the
No.
the thing. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Fuck. Oh fuck! All right. Is it full? don't spew.
Damn it.
The number of spit takes you've done on this show. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Nicknames Movies, episode number 14 for the week of, I always forget, August 3rd. Each and every week. Fuck. Shit. Taking it from the top. This is why you don't take Benadryl.
I'm fucking dying.
Blah, blah. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Nicknames Movies, episode number 14 for the week of August 3rd, 2019. Each and every week, we bring you all the cinema love and keep you informed about what's going on in Hollywood. I am your host, Nicknames Movies. Nope. I'm just going to keep going. Son of a bitch!
This is the worst it's ever been.
And alongside me is my co-host, Zach. How's it going, Zach?
Oh, it's going.
I got the good. You've been doing good. You've been doing good. I'm keeping all this in. I don't give a shit.
Oh man, that's a running start if there ever was one.
Woo! Yeah. How are you keeping cool? It's still quite warm in Texas.
It's humid.
Yeah. We
yeah.
actually got some rain this morning.
Yeah,
Which-
out of nowhere.
Out
Well,
of
not
nowhere?
out of nowhere. It came out of the sky. It's
Yeah,
not
that's where
necessarily
rain
out
comes
of
from.
nowhere, but
Friend.
friendo.
Amigo. Yeah. Good. Just keeping busy. Work. all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. This week was kind of weird for me, man. I didn't really have a whole lot of time to do much. So
That's unfortunate. At least you're keeping busy though. You know, getting
Yeah.
until it's cool enough outside to where we can actually like go out and do stuff.
you go outside and do stuff?
I try to.
Ugh,
I mean, I hang out with our editor Marley all the time, just watching TV. But
that's inside though. That's not
inside
outside.
where it's nice and cool.
Yeah, I would just asked if you went outside,
I did today.
but then you came back in.
I did. I was done after like 30 minutes.
So yeah, that's my week. How's your week?
Work and all this stuff. This doesn't pay the bills. I wish it did.
That'd be good.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
We'd do it a lot more.
yeah, probably.
I mean, we could probably do it a lot more if like people came to our Patreon, because this is Nicknames Movies, the podcast where we talk about what we've been watching and give you our thoughts. Want to be a part of the cast? You can head on over to patreon.com/nicknamesmovies, where you can donate as low as $1 and get the episodes a day early. You can even donate more than $1, and that'd be cool. If you don't want to donate, no big deal. Every episode will be live every Sunday on YouTube or your podcast service of choice. You can also head on over to tpublic.com/users/nicknamesmovies to find our merch and help represent your favorite new podcast. But now, let's dive into the previews. Zach, what have you been watching?
I actually really haven't been watching much this week. As I said, I didn't really have a whole lot of time to kind of relax this week. I ended up watching some things that I'll talk about later because they have to do with our discussion for the week.
Main topic, yeah.
But other than those, I really have just been watching like an hour or two of Whose Line Is It Anyways?
So is that back on the air? Is that like
It was back on the air for on CW. I don't know if it's still going, but they had newer seasons with Aisha Tyler.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that.
And my wife and I have been watching that before we go to sleep at night.
It's good stuff.
Yeah,
Need a good
that's pretty much
bed.
like the only extra thing that I've been watching.
Okay.
What about you?
Well, in a shocking turn of events,
Oh God,
I've been watching. Okay, so one is related to our main topic, but I've been watching anime. Shocker.
Do you want me to get you a shirt that is just black?
If you want to get
and white text, it's just anime.
I mean,
because I feel like that would be a shirt that you wear.
I see. So we grew up. You and I have known each other for years.
We did grow up eventually.
Not
by much.
No. I mean, you didn't have a beard when I first met you.
Yeah, I didn't get a beard till 5th grade.
That was when I met you.
Not until then.
No. But we've known each other. We've known each other for a long time. And back when we were growing up in school and stuff, we watched a lot of anime. And back when it was, still kind of relatively new to the mainstream when it came to like people watching Dragon Ball Z and Inuyasha and all that
just
stuff.
a few years before we met, the Dragon Ball Z on Cartoon Network was still being referred to as, what was it? Japanimation.
Yeah.
Japanimation was a term. Yeah, instead of anime.
So, I mean, I was watching a lot of anime when I was a kid, and then going into about most of high school, I kind of just dropped out, and then, of course, a decade later, I had stopped watching it, and then for some reason, whether it be one show or another, I couldn't give you the show that got me back into it, but there was just anime that was coming out left and right that was far superior to anything else that I was watching, live action, American TV or animated. Otherwise,
well, and we're in an age now. When we were growing up, when I was
monocle. Look at how old I am.
When we were growing up, anime was not as ubiquitous.
Yeah,
like it was around, and obviously there were groups of people that watched it as much as we did, but it was harder to come by, and it was more expensive when you could come by it. Or you would have to have like some shitty ass fan sub for a torrent.
Yeah, and you would have to. Basically, the only way you could watch anime was either through clips on YouTube or like
not even that, because YouTube wasn't even a thing back then.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like halfway through the 2000s kind of stuff.
No, I mean like I saw the beginning of the Android saga of Dragon Ball Z because I bought a VHS tape from fucking Costco, I think.
Yeah.
And I was the coolest fucking kid in daycare when I brought that thing in because they were still doing reruns of the Frieza saga. And then I bring that shit in. There's Android 21 and 19. Or 21? What's the fat one?
The fat one?
The fat one's 19.
Oh, God.
I don't remember.
Oh, we're about to lose our Weeaboo
big
cards.
The fat one and the Dr. Gero has turned himself into an Android guy.
Yeah. I know 17 and 18 and 16.
Who's 21?
I don't think
that's the real one.
Android 20
it's
is
20,
the new one.
You know what? I think 21 is the one from Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Oh, is that the new one? The chick?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that was 20. No, 20 is Dr. Gero, isn't it?
So 19 and 20. 19's the fat one. 20's Gero.
Is it Gero or Gero? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
But yeah, I brought this VHS tape in, and there's these androids, and fucking Vegeta's going Super Saiyan, and like all the little kids around me are losing their shit because they're like, "Oh my God, Vegeta's a Super Saiyan."
Why do you have so many kids at your house?
Well, no, it was at daycare.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and you brought your own movie to the play. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, man. And that's the way you got ahead of the curve.
I can't believe they approved that to watch.
They don't fucking care, man. You know who works at daycares?
people who have given up.
They have maybe like one or two people there who are above the age of 30.
Yeah.
And then everyone else is like a 20-year-old kid, like, who has a fucking college job or some shit. They don't care.
Yeah.
As long as you're not bleeding, you're good.
I mean, yeah, kind of. I mean, pretty good. But I love how my tangent about us growing up in anime became all about you bragging about bringing fucking Dragon Ball Z to daycare.
I was just saying that it's easier to find all that good stuff for you now.
Yeah, especially because it's streaming.
Because it's so much wider available. Yeah,
Yeah.
with streaming. I mean, fucking Crunchyroll is one of the most popular streaming services out there.
It's true.
Netflix has its own anime stuff coming in regularly. I mean, it's a pretty good time to be in anime.
Yeah.
It's almost too much.
I mean, there's a lot of great shows that I feel pull better emotional punches. Like I've mentioned in the past, some anime films that I've watched that literally made me, an adult man, cry because of how emotional they are and how well they're told. The show I'm watching right now that made me bring up this whole tirade is the Melancholy Life of Haruhi Suzumiya, which has it has a very cult following, as many popular anime
It's been around for a while.
Yeah, the first it was based off a light novel series, but the anime started in 2006 with one season, and then 2009 with the second season, and then there was a movie which is apparently better than both seasons.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and called The Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya. Spoiler alert. But I've been watching. It's a great show. There is an arc in it that actually just finished earlier this morning, where it's 8 episodes of the characters in a time loop. And so for 8 episodes, except from the very beginning until the very end, it's the same episode 8 times with minor differences.
Wow. Okay.
So
is that interesting or funny or?
It depends. It depends on how interested you are in the characters and how compelling it. And apparently there are some ties to the movie after watching the 8 episodes. But that was a slog.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you bring that up because I'm going to mention a movie later when we're talking about our main topic that has to do with time loops.
Ooh, I feel like I can guess it, maybe.
Don't spoil it, though.
The fuck was that?
Look, if you can go off the rails, I can too.
You didn't even attempt to twirl your mustache. I didn't.
I felt like, that was just suggestive. Like it was obvious I would be doing that over the microphone.
I don't know if we are allowed to leave the listeners' imaginations.
Okay, I'm twisting it now.
You go.
Can you hear it, listeners? I'm twisting my mustache. I'm not saying
they have to hear.
Oh, it's just for you, pervert.
This podcast is over. I'm just kidding. We're fine. You're good.
Do you watch anything other than your anime?
What's that?
Do you watch anything else other than your anime?
I did watch. Oh yeah. Okay. So we're gonna segue into that. All right. Because I didn't
know where else to go.
It was anime. The TV show Friends, which I'm watching for only the second time after watching it when I was a kid, and that's fun. That's my.
How far are you in that?
Like the second season. It's like one episode per meal, so I'm taking my time with it. Hopefully, I'll finish it before it leaves Netflix.
Well, you have till 2021, I think.
Yeah, it's the end of 2020, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was the beginning. But I'm good. And then I watched a film, a feature motion picture.
A film.
Yes. Quote unquote. You did, yeah. I went to go see Hobbs and Shaw. If you follow me
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, if you follow me on Instagram.com/NixUnderFire, I think is the right URL. Or just look for me. I tend to take pictures of every ticket movie that I go see in theaters. And I took a picture of Hobbs and Shaw. So people are kind of expecting it. Against my better judgment, I went to go see it.
Yeah.
It was I went to go see it.
Out of curiosity?
Yeah, and I had gotten off of work early because I work in the morning.
Okay.
And so I was like, what else am I going to do with my day? I mean, I could have done something actually productive.
Could have watched literally anything else.
Anything else. Yeah, probably some of the movies I have on my list for the main topic.
I guess I shouldn't be going into this very negatively because I have no idea. I am just assuming.
So, Are you a Fast and Furious fan?
The last one I saw was Tokyo Drift. So no,
jeez.
I don't think I'd classify myself as
It
a
is-
Fast and Furious.
So it has been 13 years
Yep.
since you've seen a Fast and Furious movie. Because so
I almost went and saw Fate of the Furious because that fucking trailer with the submarine, and shit
yeah.
looked amazing.
Yeah, there's some pretty good stunts in this series. I would say after Fast and Furious, which is the fourth film,
Right.
not to be confused with The
Fast
and The Furious.
Yeah. I'm well aware of the stupid naming conventions.
Yeah. And then I would say from Fast 5 up until now, it's been pretty fun, dumb action films.
Yeah.
That don't have bad CGI or talking or anything in it. Yeah, so from 5 to basically, this is the 9th film, although it's a spin-off because it doesn't have Vin Diesel in his Familia. That's my Vin Diesel impression.
Does he actually say that?
La Familia. I'm Vin Diesel.
Wait,
I am
La
Groot.
Familia? Oh, like that's the name of his group.
Not really. They don't have the name of a group. It's just his family. Or the
But
people that
is he saying me familiar or La Familia?
That's probably me familiar.
Okay.
Hey,
because La Familia is like the family.
I mean
That's why I was asking, like, is that
or
his group name?
He doesn't have a group name. He just calls everyone he performs heists and crimes with his family, like a mafia family.
This is last week's podcast with your butchering of Spanish all over again.
Hey, I should probably apologize for that. And then I found out like the day after that we got a podcast view from Brazil. So I was like, maybe I should do it in Portuguese next time. Nah,
don't.
Nah.
Not if you're gonna depend on Google.
Yeah, especially because I did that last time. No, okay. So back to Hobbs and Shaw. So if you're a Fast and Furious fan, like an avid fan, if you're a fan of like just the type of films that they are now, especially, this is a fun, dumb action film. Like there's action pieces in there that are like, wow, I remember when Vin Diesel jumped from one car to the next by jumping over an expanse of highway, like the thing.
Yeah.
Or the submarine in Fate of the Furious or Fast 8, whatever. Or the cars with the ramps on them that flip other cars in Fast 6 or 7.
I'm gonna go with what you're saying because I
you gotta
literally have no
I recommend watching like either 5 or 6 because there's also the scene in 5 where they're it's two like Ford Mustangs carrying a fucking safe across the streets of Rio de Janeiro and just crashing into shit. And it's actually kind of fun.
I mean, I hear it's fun.
You have to turn your brain off.
I have to get up. I'll talk about another movie later on that is kind of along the similar lines, at least in terms of like it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
I got about 20 minutes into it before I had to switch.
There's definitely it's the thinnest line that you have to cross when it comes to over the top action movies like this. There is so when I'm equating Hobbs and Shaw to the other Fast and Furious films, there are a lot of similarities when it comes to the action set pieces and the comedy / dichotomy between the characters and how they interact with each other. Like obviously there's a past between these two characters where if you had not seen anything since Tokyo Drift like you're
not out of control, you're not in control. I'm actually pretty sure that's Too Fast, Too Furious.
I can't remember. That was Too Fast, Too Furious is the worst one out of the entire series.
It's not great.
It's no. But people, and it's funny, people stand by Tokyo Drift as one of the better ones. It's not.
No.
Because the main character is a 35-year-old man playing a 18-year-old.
Yeah.
And he's not a good actor. He's rumored to be in Fast 9, though.
Whoa.
So, back to Hobbs and Shaw. Again, there's a difference between Hobbs and Shaw and the other Fast and Furious films besides the lack of main characters from the original film franchise. This film tries its damnedest to be more of a buddy comedy film than it is an actual action film.
That was the whole conceit, I thought, is that it was, it's Jason Statham and The Rock.
Right, but like I said before, if you hadn't seen, I believe starting Fast 6 up until Hobbs and Shaw, you don't know who Jason Statham's character is. You'd barely know who The Rock's character is because he was introduced in 5.
Right.
But they have a history, right? they're both two totally different characters, and I could list any buddy cop action film, and you'd be like, oh, okay, I understand kind of the dynamic between the two characters. But they're both superhuman action heroes who, when shot at by 5 different people from 5 different angles, they're not going to get hit once.
Oh, of course not.
I mean, if you've seen the trailer for Hobbs and Shaw, The Rock jumps from like the 60th story of a building, lands on a guy, and I think they cut away in the trailer, but he then detaches the guy and then jumps onto another guy who's further down, and then jumps onto Idris Elba. Elbow. Yeah, there we go.
Elbow pasta.
Yeah. And then lands on top of a car and is totally fine. Because as we all know, in action movies, if you land on top of a car and you're the hero, no scratches.
You're safe.
Totally fine.
You're good.
You're good. And then Jason Statham takes the elevator and all that stuff. There's just lots of ridiculous action scenes, which you can hand wave because it's a spinoff of Fast and Furious. And we all know the kind of atmosphere that those films tend to make. It's the story and just the acting and the celebrity cameos in this film, which I'm just,
actually, I read about this.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and spoil because they don't really affect the film except for one character. No.
One of them that I read seemed like they were hinting at it affecting later on.
Like they might be involved in future spinoffs?
Yeah. Or the franchise as a whole.
I guess. But, okay, if you haven't read about them already, then I'm just going to go ahead and spoil it for you. Ryan Reynolds shows up as Luke Hobbs' as a former, not teammate, but like friend from the past, but like not really like best friends like Ryan Reynolds tries to portray it. He's hilarious in this film. He's Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
They're just letting him do what he wants to do. And then Kevin Hart shows up as a air marshal who ends up helping them kind of off screen while he's taking a shit. He calls in some transportation for them to get from one country on one side of the globe to the other side. But their scenes go on for, like the celebrity cameo scenes, they're not cameos, they're actual characters in the film. They're like 5-10 minute scenes where they're trying to explain, do some exposition, all that stuff. Kevin Hart's scene where he's like he's literally sitting in front of them on a plane, turns around, is like, hey, you got Jason Statham and The Rock, how about you calm down? All right, I'm an air marshal. Get off my plane. That was Harrison Ford.
Oh, I see.
Air Force
One.
Yeah. Sorry. Get off my plane. I'm Harrison Ford.
You're sounding more like Richard Nixon.
I'm Harrison Ford, damn it. How about that? Is it a little
better? Yeah.
More gruffer? Hold on. Give me an Indiana Jones line.
Snakes. Why do they have to be snakes?
Snakes. Why do they have to be snakes? Is that better?
No, I don't know.
Is it still Nixon-ish?
I wasn't more Nixon, but it definitely wasn't Ford either.
Okay, close your eyes. Don't look at me.
Okay.
All right. Hold on. Give me another line.
Trying to think here. Date. Oh, no, he didn't say that. Close your eyes. Don't look at it.
Okay. Well, yeah, all right, then. All right. Close your eyes. Don't look at it. Oh, close your eyes. Don't look at it. Indiana Jones.
It's like a hint. A hint when you first start is
close your eyes.
Right.
Come on, Chewie.
I can understand where you're getting at.
Don't get cocky, kid.
Never tell me the odds. That definitely wasn't
Never tell me the odds.
No?
No?
I'm not feeling it.
Fuck you. I think I'm great.
You work on that. You get back to me.
I will. Maybe it's because I'm hearing my own voice in my head.
Maybe.
Okay.
It might be throwing you off.
Yeah. Hobbs and Shaw. It's a dumb, fun action film, except for that it's 2 hours and almost 2 hours and 40 minutes or 2 hours and 30 minutes.
I remember looking at the runtime and I'm like, wow, that seems
long.
Really long.
There's a lot of scenes that it reminded me a lot of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where a lot of the dialogue scenes or some of the scenes where the action scenes are short and kind of too far spaced out from each other, which is weird for a Fast and Furious film.
Right.
So the celebrity cameos in this film, they're like, hey, look, superstar, Ryan Reynolds, Kevin Hart, what's his name? Roman Reigns. He's in this. The wrestler.
Yeah.
He plays The Rock's brother. Or
Does
whatever.
he do a Superman punch?
He does, I think.
Does
at
he
one
do
point.
a spear?
Yes.
Okay, he's in there.
Yeah. A lot of hand-to-hand combat. And some of the things like how are a group of Samoans car mechanics supposed to beat up like this technologically advanced military force? Oh, we just hack their guns because they all have chips in them. So
this is Chucky all over again.
Yeah, it's it's a lot of hand waving. And here's the thing: if you go in, turn your brain off, there's still some things that you have to like not think about, but like question why that's in the film. Like they allude to a sequel like halfway through the movie.
Oh, really?
They're setting up a villain for its own franchise of Hobbs and Shaw.
So that I read about that too.
Yeah. A disembodied voice with a vocoder and all that stuff.
Did you stay for the end credits?
I did.
Yeah.
So there's three different end credits, and they're all kind of just extra funny, like scenes.
Well, the last one I heard or I read didn't seem like that. It seemed like that they were hinting at.
No, not really.
Oh no, okay.
No. They do make fun of the series finale of Game of Thrones though. Ryan Reynolds does.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So gotta get those hits in.
Yeah, I love how relevant that was when they were filming it, and now not anymore.
Yeah, because nobody cares.
Nobody cares. But Hobbs and Shaw. If you're a fan of Fast and Furious, chances are you're like, all right, The Rock. I'm getting Jason Statham. I'm getting some action. There's some great action set pieces in this, but at the same time, I can't recommend it just because the story is like. The best actor in this entire film, by the way, Vanessa Kirby.
Oh yeah,
as Deckard Shaw's Jason Statham's sister. Yeah, she's fantastic in this. They needed to have more female action stars in this, in both the main franchise and this, because there's Isa Gonzalez, who's in Baby Driver.
Okay,
she was in that.
Mm-hmm.
She shows up as kind of a beautiful woman in a bikini who also took down like this Russian mob when they meet her.
Yeah.
And she's like, all right, let me get you some guns and supplies and stuff, and this is where you need to go. And then that's it. She's in it for like all of a minute.
Good. What's the word for when you add something? Good
addition?
Not that one. Like good. We'll go with that. Good addition.
There. Okay. Yeah. All right. Fine. Hobbs and Shaw. Meh.
Did you
Meh.
Did you happen to see the article that the Wall Street Journal published about this?
Well, as you know, I am a fancy lad, and I tend to read all of my newspapers in print, in physical format.
I read all the news on my phone. That's where I read this.
So for our audio listeners, I'm sneering at Zach.
Is that a sneer that looks like an old man I can't see without? Okay.
Well, because you can't see my mouth.
You're a big purple
You can't see
blob.
the frown.
Okay, yeah, that's better.
There we go. Yeah.
So no, I'm guessing I'll take that as a no.
I did not read the article to answer your question now.
Apparently, I won't call this an expose because it's not really that important to be called an expose. It's just stupid.
All right.
Apparently, the Fast franchise as a whole has kind of suffered from this for a while, where actors will specifically mandate how they want to get beat up.
Oh, no, I did read this.
In the movies.
Yeah.
Where basically if Jason Statham punches The Rock,
yeah,
The Rock has to be able to punch him back. So neither one of them.
And that's for Jason Statham's contract. And then The Rock is like, for every fight that I win, I need to lose one. Kind of thing. Or is it vice versa?
No, his was similar where like the punches traded or the fights need to trade. It's essentially 50-50 booking from WWE.
That's very weird.
Vin Diesel is also in on this too, where he actually has his sister, who I guess is a production assistant.
Oh no, I think she's a producer.
She's just a producer.
Just a straight producer.
Who like counts the number of hits he takes.
Yeah.
Like I think I still have it up here. Okay. There's vanity, blah, blah, blah. According to producers and crew members on the films, Mr. Statham 51 years old, negotiating an agreement with the studio that limits how badly he can be beaten up on screen. Mr. Diesel, 52, has his younger sister, a producer on the films, police the number of punches he takes, and Mr. Johnson, 47, enlists producers, editors, and fight coordinators to help make sure he always gives as good as he gets.
Gross.
So, like, the Rock even has, like, fucking people in post, like, altering scenes, and it's just like, Jesus Christ,
just
man.
let the writer and the director, like, do the movie. Like, are they really going to lose, like, their status as an action star if they lose a fight?
Well, when I was reading this, I went to, like, further down into, like, the discussion of it, and this thing came up where if you look back at older action movies, they didn't shy away from their stars getting beat. Like, all of Raiders of the Lost Ark is almost essentially just Indiana Jones getting the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah, he loses just about every single time.
Yeah. I mean, one of the greatest fight scenes of all time to me is the
fight on the tank.
That one.
Or the plane one.
The plane one on the airfield, yeah. And he's getting his ass kicked. The only reason he wins that is because a propeller comes by and kills the guy.
That dumb German not paying attention to the giant-ass loud propeller right behind him.
You're literally standing next to the plane,
I would be 500 feet from that propeller because I would be terrified of it.
It's interesting to look at it from that perspective, like where... And I'm not going to say like that's indicative of all action movies right now, because you see Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible movies now, and he's just like...
He's older than all three of those actors,
and he's taking licks.
Oh, yeah.
What was the one with... was it Cavill?
Henry
Superman?
Cavill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He played the other agent or
reloading
whatever.
his arms, shotgun arms,
and they were in the bathroom.
Oh yeah,
but then they just both end up getting the shit kicked out of them,
which was a great subversion of that expectation of the scene.
And like that's interesting to me that there's this dynamic here and this like machismo franchise.
Well, I would say the difference between Indiana Jones and, to an extent, Mission Impossible, because it's kind of a reboot of the spy tropes.
Thriller.
But Indiana Jones is reminiscent of pulp
serials,
yeah, from the 30s. And the same thing with Tom Cruise and Mission Impossible. It's kind of just an Americanized version of a rebooted spy genre. You could say the same thing about all the James Bond films, except... no, that's an extremely bad example because he just about wins everything and he gets the girl most of the time.
Yeah.
But there are, I mean, if you look at the Daniel Craig films, there's a lot of the times where he loses everything.
He's getting taken hostage. And
that was another film I watched. I watched Skyfall because I was trying to find a good action film. I'm like, I just want to watch Skyfall.
Yeah, that happened to me too. Not Skyfall specifically, but I did run into a thing where I was like, I need to find a good action film to watch.
And you can't go wrong with James Bond most of the time.
Well, yeah, you can. It's just hard.
The Roger Moore ones. Just, yeah.
So, yeah, I found that interesting, that's even, like, a thing. And I get, like, wanting to protect your brand, but...
Who cares?
Yeah.
Your brand
like, these fight choreographers are having to, like, rewrite entire scenes to make sure everyone is on the same footing. Like, they do, like, shot-for-shot, like, run-throughs.
Yeah.
At least part of this Wall Street Journal article, where they're showing, like, in the scene, like, first The Rock pushes Statham through the wall.
Yeah.
And then immediately after, they get back up, and Statham pushes him through the wall. And it's like, they don't even have a beat in between.
They have it in the script, they just need to work around that.
And in that same article, I believe I read that there is one scene in particular where the script said The Rock was at Jason's feet after a fight, like he was laying down.
Yeah.
And Statham was sitting up. And The Rock's people came back and did like a little edit on the script when they received it. And they were like, The Rock at least needs to be sitting up for this. Because you can't.
Your brand should be how you act outside of your films.
Right.
More than how you appear inside of your films. Because you choose the product, the projects that you're involved in.
Right. Well,
I
and
assume.
it was interesting when I was reading this because I was thinking back on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood because there's that whole plot for
Yeah, that's literally a subplot of the film.
Yeah, for Leonardo DiCaprio's character, where he's like this aging TV star who's being brought on to these newer ones for these
Right.
newer stars, and he dies for them. Like he plays the villain
Yeah.
to basically elevate these new heroes.
So, if anything, what you're saying to me right now is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is even more progressive and relevant than how we portrayed it last week.
I don't know if I would say that because that would be saying that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood said anything other than, hey, you remember the 60s?
You heard it here first, folks. Zach is the #1 fan of Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That's harsh. I won't go that far. But
Let's get into the main topic because we've been talking about Hobbs and Shaw. I do have a surprise for you. I have an action movie game quiz.
oh no.
It's not a multiple choice quiz.
Oh no.
It's even worse.
Oh no.
But I feel like you're gonna do okay.
Okay, all right.
You might do okay.
We'll see.
I got. Hopefully. I'm gonna have to take out plot. So the way that I'm gonna do the game is I picked I think 16 different action movies, and these are all over the top in one way or another when it comes to their action, which is our main topic. And what I did is I took the IMDb synopsis of the film.
Okay.
And I'm going to have you guess which film it is.
Okay. All right. That I might be okay at that. Or this could transition very smoothly into what I'll say before I get into what I watched for the topic. But
okay. Well, I mean, because you probably have seen one of the films, and we could just kind of go off of that.
Yeah.
If it was one of the movies you saw. But let's get into it and see how you do.
All
first
right.
off, it's only 16.
I'm not confident.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Start off easy. Okay. An NYPD officer tries to save his wife and several others taken hostage by German terrorists.
Die Hard.
You can guess whenever.
I said Die Hard.
Oh, Die Hard. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said I know it. Sorry.
Yes, Die Hard.
Yeah. At the Christmas party in Nakatomi Plaza in Los Angeles. Okay. So 1.
Yay.
Keep track of how
That
many
was
you
that
have.
was pretty easy. That was an easy one. I
Yeah.
don't feel like I'm going to be as lucky.
I told you. Okay. The main character mounts a one-man mission to rescue... Like, I'm going to have to take out the person's name
That's fine.
for some of these.
Yeah.
The main character mounts a one-man mission to rescue his friend, Colonel Troutman, from the clutches of the formidable invading Soviet forces in Afghanistan.
Black Hawk Down.
No. That was Iraq. You silly man. One-man mission. And Black Hawk Down had, like...
Yeah.
5,000
I never saw Black Hawk Down.
What?
Yeah.
It's pretty good. There's a lot of saturation in that film, though. It's Ridley Scott. So
Yeah.
it's pretty
I
stylized.
don't know if I know this one. Mission Impossible 2.
He has a team, not a one-man mission. Do you want me to give you a hint?
Please.
It's the third in a classic action franchise. That was a really big hint.
Third in a classic action. Is it like Rambo or some shit?
There you go.
Yeah. I've
Rambo
only
3.
seen First Blood, man.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, this is like after First Blood, because First Blood is it's dark and very
Right.
personal.
And then after that they steer into
It's
like
yeah,
more.
First Blood, and then
pokey
Rambo
stuff.
2, and then Rambo 3, and then, yeah. Not to mention the reboot Rambo, which oh boy. Okay, so that one was a little harder. I'm sorry. Let me go back. A mysterious new weapon in the war against the machines, half human and half machine, comes to John Connor on the eve of a resistance
Oh,
attack.
that's Terminator. Oh, Terminator 2. Wait. Okay, maybe I should let you finish.
On Skynet, but whose side is he on, and can he be trusted?
Comes to John Connor.
Yes.
Terminator Salvation?
Yes. Yeah, you almost got Terminator 2.
I did.
I almost
yeah.
got you there. Maybe let me finish.
Classic game show rules.
Yeesh.
Rookie mistake.
All right. So how are you doing?
I'm at 2 out of
2.
3.
2 out of 3. All right. A young soldier in Vietnam faces a moral crisis when confronted with the horrors of war and the duality of man.
Full Metal Jacket.
No. Fuck. That's a good guess though, because it was like one of the two.
Is it? What's the other one?
I should only let you have one
Apocalypse
guess.
Now.
Nope. All right. So
Sorry,
that's a minus. Platoon.
Oh yeah, I've never seen Platoon.
You should. That's actually a really good one.
Yeah.
That's where Charlie Sheen is actually doing his best. All right, let's
But
do
not
it.
in the patronizing way, like, oh, he's doing his best.
Well, it's him, his dad,
It's
and
like,
a lot of
oh,
it great
he's
other.
really good.
I mean, so Full Metal Jacket, you have to be in a mood for.
Yeah.
Right? It's Stanley Kubrick. It starts off as one movie and then it becomes a totally different movie.
Yeah, that's a watch, man.
Platoon is totally different. I think Platoon was, or was it Full Metal Jacket? Full Metal Jacket. Where they start playing that one song that's like the epitome of the Vietnam War.
It's in everyone.
It's in every single one of them.
Fortunate Son. Yeah, Fortunate Son.
Fortunate Son.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're
I
welcome.
can't remember the name of the singer.
Creedence Clearwater, I think.
Was it?
Yeah.
Alexa, who plays Fortunate Son?
Woo!
Okay.
Woo!
All right. Take it easy. That's like their one
Can
song
we
that
do
they're known for.
Can we do a music quiz? Because I feel like I'd be okay
I feel
at
like
that.
you're jumping the gun because you know what next week's thing is.
I actually didn't think we agreed on that, but
Okay, well
we
maybe
can do
maybe
that.
we didn't, but now we are. Let me move on to another one. All right. With the help of a magic ticket, a young movie fan is transported into the fictional world of his favorite action movie character.
Last action hero.
Yes. I had it written down as last action hero. That's the same thing. We'll get the. All right. So which one did I? Okay. All right. So you're doing good so far, kinda.
3 out of 5.
3
I
out of
think.
5.
Yeah.
Okay. A retired special forces colonel tries to save his daughter, who is abducted by his former subordinate.
Taken 2.
Taken 2? No.
Yeah.
No. That's actually I didn't
Isn't
think
that
this was
another
going to be
Die
that
Hard
hard.
movie?
No. He wasn't in special forces.
Uh,
You don't know?
uh,
Commando.
never saw Commando either.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just the movies you haven't seen. I've seen all of these, so that's crazy. That's crazy to me. All right. Colonel Braddock launches a mission deep into the jungles of Vietnam to find the POW camp that he escaped from and free the Americans still held captive there.
That Apocalypse Now?
No. So Colonel Braddock was actually something I should have said the protagonist, but I feel like you don't remember this character and you probably haven't seen the movie or its franchise.
I'm drawing a blank.
Missing in Action.
Nope.
Chuck Norris.
Nope.
I think there was
I
of
have
them.
not really seen anything with Chuck Norris.
Really?
Yeah.
You should.
Except for
Game of Death.
Yeah.
He's not even quote unquote Chuck Norris in that film. You know,
Yeah.
he's like, it's Chuck Norris without a beard, and
And really, is that Chuck Norris? No, I
yeah,
don't
not
think
really.
so.
So. All right, moving on. Mr. Church reunites the team for what should be an easy paycheck, but when one of their men is murdered on the job, their quest for revenge puts them deep in enemy territory and up against an unexpected threat. Yes. Another slip up on my part.
I feel like this is a trick question. You're
Yes.
being purposefully vague. It sounds like
that
Predator.
was a direct. That was a direct pull from IMDb. So, except for one word that I got rid of. You were kind of close with your guess, in a way.
Predators?
No, no.
I don't know.
The Expendables.
Oh, okay. So, do you remember when I talked about a movie I started to watch this week and got 20 minutes into it before I had to stop?
Really?
Yes.
The Expendables 1?
Yep, first one.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Because that's the easiest one to watch, in my opinion.
Dude, I was borderline during the opening credits, and they have fucking Godsmack
Yeah.
over like all these old action stars. Like, oh, they read too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Sylvester Stallone smoking a cigarette. I guess they're or a cigar. I think.
Probably a cigar.
And Dolph Lundgren's in the back because he's an asshole.
Yeah, he's got to play the bad guy. He was the bad guy in Rocky.
And then I got to the scene in which it was after Jason Statham got broken up with his girlfriend because he didn't talk to her for a month, and somehow that's her fault.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I mean, come on. It's 2019 now, so we can see we can see why he's at fault. That was a joke.
And after that, that actress, by the way, is awful. I don't remember her name.
I don't either. I don't want to look it up.
But yeah, that was bad. That was a bad scene. And then they get to the scene where they're all in the chop shop or whatever that Mickey Rourke owns that also doubles a tattoo parlor.
Yeah, because he's cool.
And Mickey Rourke does the fastest fucking tattoo job I've ever seen.
Yeah, because he's Mickey Rourke. All right?
It takes like a minute.
Yeah. Is that not how long tattoos take?
No.
Okay, I have a bad frame of reference. I have no tattoos. I should get a tattoo.
Oh God, yeah. I think they were going off on the first mission after that, and I was like, nope,
Done.
can't do it.
Didn't even get to any of the action.
No, it was the action at the beginning when they're at the
right.
pirate ship.
Yeah, that's right.
And I could see where it was going, man.
So the whole point of that franchise is, hey, what if we got every single action stuff?
I'm aware of the point, and I went into it open-minded. I was like, okay, I know what I'm getting with this. It's gonna be cheesy, stupid fun.
Yeah.
But then it's just so like, it's not taking the piss, you know. It's you need to be taking the piss when you're watching it.
Yeah.
But they are on the up and up.
If you're not watching this drunk, you're doing it wrong.
Well, I was definitely not. I wish I was drunk.
Well, next time.
Yeah. So that's why I didn't know that one.
I'll get some beers, and next time we will watch it. We'll watch all three.
Yeah.
We'll get to the point where Wesley Snipes is introduced in 3, and you're like, what the fuck is he doing? Oh, you know what? He just got out of jail, and they're like, hey, come and do
Let's
this movie.
use him. And you'll never be able to do Blade again.
Yeah.
Because Marshall Ali will take that spot.
Oh, yeah. And he's totally fine with it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw that, too. Yeah.
Antonio Banderas is in the second one.
Who was it? A Fast and the Furious movie or The Expendables where they had Ronda Rousey come in? And it was like, look,
both.
It's the badass chick.
Both. She's in both franchises.
Is she?
Yeah. Because she's the badass action until she decided to go back into
terrible human being. Salt of the earth.
Oh, yeah. She's not a good actress either.
Even though Salt of the Earth is the exact opposite of terrible being. Yeah.
Way to go. What's the chick's name in Scott Pilgrim that messes that up? Kim, I think.
Yeah.
Scott, you're the salt of the earth. Oh, thanks. I meant the scum of the earth. Good stuff. That's a great movie.
That is a good movie. Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
Oh boy, would have given anything to watch an Edgar Wright movie for 20 minutes over 20 minutes of The Expendables.
Well, we all have those moments where actually, I forgot to mention another movie I watched this week.
Oh.
I watched it mainly because I had never seen it in theaters, and I missed out on it. I think it was a time when I didn't have time. So time. The Robin Hood 2018 with Taron Egerton and Jamie Foxx.
My wife really wanted to see that, and
it's
I
bad.
was like, well, I could tell.
Yeah.
I could tell by the trailers. I'm like, that looks like shit.
So, okay, the acting is good. It's the costume design where it's all current costume design, and like the action and CGI and the story.
Like really gritty color grading, and
it's kind of like a Hunger Games-esque where all the rich people have really bright colored fancy clothes, and then all the other people, all the poor people obviously are dressed in dirt and all that stuff.
Right.
Anyway, not good. And I was checking my phone every 5 seconds throughout the whole movie.
That's when you know the quality is up there.
I should have stopped, but I finished it until the end so I could say that I watched it.
I was gonna try to get through The Expendables for that reason, so I could say like I've at least seen The Expendables.
Yeah.
But then I was like, wouldn't you rather spend your time with something else?
Yeah.
And I did. And the movie I switched to, which I'll get to later, was way more enjoyable. So I'm glad I made that switch.
Well, maybe it's one of the movies that is on this list. So let's get back into it.
Okay.
All right.
3 for 6.
3 for 6. I thought you were going to do a lot better on this.
I told you.
All right. A bounty hunting scam joins 2 men in an uneasy alliance against a third in a race to find a fortune in gold buried in a remote cemetery. Don't think too hard.
Sounds like National Treasure.
No. That's one guess. You get 2 guesses.
Repeat the question.
A bounty hunting scam joins 2 men in an uneasy alliance against a third in a race to find a fortune in gold buried in a remote cemetery. That last line is very key.
Last Crusade.
No.
Oh.
So that's your two guesses. You're going to kick yourself.
Oh boy.
Although if you haven't seen it, it's going to be like, oh, I haven't seen it. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Oh yeah. I have seen that.
Okay.
It's a great movie.
I was about to say.
And it's been very long since I've last watched it.
So
I think I last watched it when I was like 15.
Really?
And I own it too. I haven't sat down and watched it.
It's one of those older movies where you're like, you have to be in a right mood for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ecstasy of Gold, one of the best soundtrack songs.
Yeah.
Eno Morricini.
Yeah.
Morricino.
That's actually that scene where that song plays.
Yeah, and
is the one I was referring to. The Mexican standoff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good scene.
Good movie.
All right. The Double Deuce is the meanest, loudest, and rowdiest bar south of the Mason-Dixon line. And Dalton has been hired to clean it up. He might not look like it, but the PhD-educated bouncer proves he's more than capable.
Walking Tall?
No. Oh, God, that movie. Walking Tall sucked ass. That was early in
The Rock's
career where he's like doing that.
So, well, no, I'll save it for later. I was going to segue because I did watch something that relates to that, but it's so off tangent from that quiz, so I don't know. I'll just what's the
Swear
answer?
to God, if it's a movie musical.
No, it's not.
Okay.
What's the answer for that one?
Oh, you just giving up?
I've given up.
It's called Roadhouse with that bastard Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, I didn't see that one either.
That son of a bitch.
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
The only thing I know about Roadhouse is that Family Guy joke.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, they say the name of the movie. Not only that,
Roadhouse.
they say the character's name and the name of the bar in that episode of Family Guy.
Again, the last time I watched Family Guy when I was like fucking 15. I don't remember.
It has not aged well. Yeah. All right, here's the next one. You have to get this one. All right, I'm going to be very upset if you guess any of the other movies that came out around the same time.
Boy, prepare to be upset.
Because this is one of those movies where there were a couple of other ones that came out around the same time.
Okay.
And they had not similar plots, but
it's like The Prestige and The Illusionist coming out literally the same day.
So similar genre-ish type. You'll know what I mean. A computer hacker learns from mysterious rebels about the true nature of his reality and his role in the war against its controllers.
Matrix?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, there you go. There's a free point for
Yay,
you.
4 out of like 7 or 8.
All right, on to the next one. I'm just all tongue-tied today.
That's okay.
A SWAT team becomes trapped in a tenement run by a ruthless mobster and his army of killers and thugs.
Raid Redemption.
Good for you.
Boy.
Thanks for adding redemption to that.
I have not seen any of those other movies, but I've seen The Raid Redemption.
Still a good film, and
Yep.
I recommend that one. Because a lot of people are the opposite. You know, they've seen all these classic action movies, but they don't want to see a foreign language action film.
Yeah.
Which they're missing out on. Because The Raid 2 was one of my favorite films of all time.
Amazing.
Yeah. Did we watch that together?
No, we didn't.
But you watched The Raid 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yes.
And it's sad that we'll never get...
We'll
never.
get it. It'll just be 20 years from
Yeah.
now.
I don't know why he wants to do other stuff besides finish that. Because it's such
He just wants to make us suffer. That's why.
I could probably pull up the article where he says, like, oh, I want to do Raid 3, but it's just going to be 20 years from now. I want to do this, this, and this. And what he's done in between now and then, it's like, I'm not excited for that. It's like Taika Waititi was announced as doing Thor 4, and they pushed back Akira so he could do Thor 4. I'm like, come on, man. Just let him do Akira. We're never going to get Akira.
Well,
I've waited
there's
more than 15 years for
There
this.
are two sides to that. On the one hand, yes, I am sad because I think Taika Waititi is a good pick for that. Or at least a different, interesting pick. It's not like fucking... Who was on...
Jean-Claude Serra.
Was it?
The guy who did Unknown and...
That was the only one? I thought Roland Emmerich was attached to it at one point.
Forever ago.
Yeah.
That was like one of the very first
when
ones.
the Leo script was leaked, I thought
Leonardo
he was attached to
DiCaprio,
that one.
Appian Way.
Yeah.
His production company.
I've forgotten where I was going. Oh yes, on the one side, I'm sad that we'll not get that for a while.
Yeah.
But on the other, there's a lot that can go wrong with an Akira movie.
Very, very true. I just know that with seeing everything else Taika Waititi has done, I know that I have faith in him as a director.
That's fair. Yeah.
He hasn't messed up for me yet. Even looking at his new film Jojo Rabbit, which comes out before Thor 4,
Yeah.
Love and Thunder, which is about a kid with an imaginary friend who's
Hitler.
who is Hitler,
Yeah.
and just all this wacky shenanigans in between, and played by Taika Waititi of all people.
Yeah.
It's just I'm really interested. It's like Edgar Wright. Like anything that they announced for him,
Yeah.
I'm in. So let's move on to the next one. A tough, aspiring chef is hired to bring home a mobster's son from the Amazon, but becomes
A Rundown or Welcome to the Jungle. And I watched this one.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew it was going to be a movie you had seen.
That's fucking funny. I didn't think that was going to be on that list.
Really?
Yeah.
It was. This was probably the one of the last ones that I added to the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen this one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's got Christopher Walken in it. I'm seeing
it. Does. Christopher Walken chewing up the scenery.
Oh man.
I saw this in theaters actually.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I think it's a really underrated action movie. It's not like anything crazy, but it's
got some good action and some comedy in there.
and
Sean William Scott isn't super annoying in it.
Yeah, Rosario Dawson.
I forgot she's in that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
She plays the rebellion leader.
Oh, so but also like the love interest / action hero.
They actually really don't do any love interest bit.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of played for a laugh because, like, oh, Sean William Scott thinks he can get with Rosario Dawson, but he's just a loser. And,
yeah,
you know, like it's kind of played like that. But no, she's really just the rebellion leader.
It reminds me a lot of, and I'm probably gonna get some slack for this, but flack, not slack. Slack, I would probably.
We'll go easy on him.
Losing the leash there. The Rundown reminds me a lot of kind of action pulpy films like Indiana Jones.
Yeah, it's like a serial type of adventure.
Yeah, you kind of know what the adventure is and all the action beats and everything and all the characters and what they're going to do, but it's still fun to watch.
Yeah, it is.
Does the CGI still hold up, kind of?
Not really, no.
Not really?
But they don't use a whole lot. There are only a couple instances when they're doing, like, tracking shots.
Even better. When it's practical action effects, it's even better.
There's only a couple, like the scene where the Jeep is rolling down the hill and it lands in the water.
Yeah.
That, you can tell, like, that's a little dated. And there's a scene when they're using a tracking shot coming up from when they're on the river.
Yeah.
And you can tell, like, some of that is in post CG.
This was like 2004, 2005?
2003, I think.
Oh, really?
Or 2002. It was
around the same time as Walking Tall.
It was like, Walking Tall was after this.
Oh,
and
really?
when you were talking about Walking Tall, that's what I was getting at. I think it was actually The Rock's first movie.
Really?
Mm-hmm. What was that?
That might make sense. I think it was produced by like WWF Films.
Actually, Vince McMahon is a lead producer on it.
See, that's why.
Yeah.
That was when they were experimenting with their wrestlers to do action films.
Yeah. 2003.
2003. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Also, like I said, also known as Welcome to the Jungle internationally.
Which is funny because now The Rock is in another film with Welcome to the Jungle subtitle.
Yeah.
There's Jumanji 2 for those that don't know.
There's really not a whole lot to spoil about The Rundown or anything.
Not really.
Like you said,
I gave a synopsis there.
You know what you're getting, but it's still it's a fun movie. I would give it a look.
Yeah. If you could find it. I would imagine it would be like on.
Well, I own it, but.
Like streaming services for like $2 maybe.
Yeah.
Because it's that old.
I don't imagine, maybe even like Prime or something.
It might be. Yeah. I could probably find it on my 4K TV.
It failed pretty hard.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't even make its budget back. And they were talking. They've talked about doing a sequel, but it's
got to go back to that jungle.
Yeah, I believe they at one point. What's his name? Jonah Hill was supposed to be in the sequel.
Oh, really?
And they haven't gotten around to it. I think the last thing.
I think The Rock has moved on to other stuff.
Well, he's making bank with fucking Fast and the Furious, so.
And Jumanji. He probably makes more money with the Jumanji films.
And then all the little side things like Skyscraper and whatnot.
Oh, God.
San Andreas.
Yeah.
Faster
wasn't terrible. It was more of a thriller than it was.
That was the one where he's like trying to get his kid, right?
No, it's basically him just going down his list of people he needs to exact revenge on, whether it means killing them or.
Wasn't there one where he's trying to rescue his kid? Like
I mean, that was Skyscraper to an extent, and
No,
San
he had to like
Andreas.
run like some job or something.
That was Rampage at one point. Remember Rampage?
I didn't see Rampage.
It's directed by the guy who did Skyscraper and
Greatest,
San Andreas.
great video game movie. Honestly,
It's not. At one point, it was the highest rated video
yeah.
game film of all time.
Until Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, until
Yeah.
just now. Let's move on.
Okay.
All right. I didn't skip any. No, okay. We've only got 3 more.
I'm not doing well.
You are not. No. I need you to average out for me, please. I was going to give you a prize, too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Looks like it's not happening. A skilled London police officer is transferred to a small town with a dark secret. You're thinking too hard.
Hot Fuzz?
Yeah. You think it's too hard. It's Hot Fuzz.
Well, yeah. I'm not thinking too hard. I'm just like, would it be this?
Yeah. Go with your gut, man. Go with your gut. Like
But
all
see,
the action heroes that get out
I
of
feel like
scenes.
other than the rundown, it should be fairly indicative that by now, and this is what I was getting at earlier, action movies, like typical action movies, just really aren't my thing.
That's fair.
And that's kind of a problem that I ran into this week, where I was like, I need to find stuff to watch that falls into this.
Yeah.
And then the rundown, like, it is an action movie, but I wouldn't necessarily call it over the top.
No.
So that, like, kind of counts.
It's kind of the explosion at the end on the
yeah,
airfields.
Yeah.
Or not the airfields, the
In
town.
the town, yeah.
And
The choreography is good in that too.
when with the whip and everything.
Yeah.
I was gonna say if you ever have a character walking away from an explosion in your film, it's probably an over-the-top action film.
Yeah.
Except for X-Men Origins Wolverine. I would say that's over the top, just because the CGI is so bad. Let's go to the next one.
Yeah.
This is when I thought over-the-top action films. This was
What you were thinking
one
of?
of the films
Yeah.
I was thinking of. A man named Mr. Smith delivers a woman's baby during a shootout and is then called upon to protect the newborn from the army of gunmen chasing her. I'll give you a hint. It was a movie that we saw together in theaters. Yeah. It was one of the films that we saw where I was making it a tradition to always see a movie on my birthday before I gave that up because I never had money. Yes.
Oh, shit. Fuck. It's what's his name? Right? That was in Children of Men.
Yes.
Fuck. What is that movie?
Yeah. Yeah.
With the carrot, right?
Yep. Monica Bellucci. Paul Giamatti.
Not Smoking Aces, is it?
No. That's a good guess. In fact, that was initially on the list, but it basically it said Smoking Aces like twice in the synopsis. So I was like,
I don't remember, man.
I know you have it like right here, so I'll give it to you. You basically have it. It's Shoot 'Em Up with Clive Owen.
Shoot 'Em Up, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I would have never gotten that title.
Yes, it's one of those unique titles where I was like, okay,
Yeah.
maybe he'll get this. All right.
I'll get that one on a technicality.
Yeah, I'll let you have
It's
that
like
one.
a little asterisk next to it.
That one's fine. Here's the next one. Hopefully you don't get it off of the character's name, but I'll give it to you because it's kind of a generic. Well, maybe not. Professional assassin Chev Chelios learns his rival has injected him with a poison that will kill him if his heart rate drops.
Crank.
There you go.
I almost watched this one this week.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I was gonna do like the rundown, Crank, and Triple X because it was like, oh, they're Fast and Furious stars.
I should have added those.
Dude, okay, even after, this is why I'm weird, man. Like I have hardly seen any of these action movies, right?
Yeah.
But I see a preview on Netflix for Triple X. I'm like, this movie looks so fucking dumb, and I love it.
Yeah. It was hard to like try to, because when we were coming up with the idea of this episode, like over the top action films, does that mean it's so bad they're good, or does that mean that they're good and they're action films, or what have you? But I think we both kind of agreed to just settle on action films that are have a lot of explosions and action scenes in it.
And part of the problem I ran into is I don't really like a whole lot of those ones. So the couple other ones that I watched were maybe cheating a little bit, but
So, I mean, you could definitely tell that this was definitely more my topic than it was yours.
yeah.
But that's okay. I grew up watching all of these films, and like if you had done that same test with me, I would have gotten every single one.
Yeah. As it stands, I got 8 out of, was it 15 or 16?
16, I think.
So 50%.
Almost.
50%. Not the best.
I gave you one. So.
I did much better. Really, it's below 50.
Yeah.
I did much better on the Disney one.
E-, maybe an F. But you did a good job, so.
That's not true, but thank you.
Were there any other movies that you had seen that we didn't talk about?
So, yeah, I watched 2 other movies, and as I was saying, it was kind of cheating. The first one I watched was Dredd, because I'll just take any excuse to watch Dredd.
Oh, it's such a good movie.
It's so fucking good,
It's
man.
The Raid, but
Yeah.
Dredd.
Yeah. Carl Urban plays Judge Dredd. Great,
from
great
The Boys.
turn. Mm-hmm.
If you've seen that.
And Lana Headey is the big bad of the movie.
Yeah, Mama.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good slow motion.
Mm-hmm.
I love all the slow motion shots in that film because they're so hyper saturated and stylized to where you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm on a drug watching this.
Great cinematography in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Extremely violent. If you are squeamish in any way, I would be ready for like some ginger.
Yeah. Wait, you say ginger?
Yeah, like ginger or ginger ale. It's
Oh,
supposed to help with nausea.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Maybe is that I mean, I guess I kind of knew that. When I grew up, they were like, when I was feeling like kind of ill, my parents would give me 7-Up.
Yeah,
because it has ginger in it.
Same kind of concept.
Yeah. Which is weird. Just give me seltzer water. All right. Do the right thing.
Demanding as a sick child.
I was. I wanted to feel better. All right. I had lots of things to do.
Oh, okay. This is another one of those movies where it's like, man, I really want a sequel. And
they did a petition a long time ago after the movie came out.
They're still saying like, "Oh yeah, we'll do it."
The first one came out in 2011.
They had a little animated series that I never watched.
I didn't either. That's sad.
But man, I was reading up on this, and they were talking about how originally, if the first one performed well, they were going to do a trilogy, and they were going to have Judge Death in the final one.
So it's inspired by the 2000 AD comic series. And so they have so much 2012, not 2011, source material to pull from.
Yeah.
And they pulled a lot from the first film, and they used a lot of it and kind of combined it in a very simple story thread.
Right, yeah.
Let's get all these characters people know.
The basic conceit of the plot is we need to get from the bottom of this building to the top and kill the person up top so we can leave the building. Yeah,
basically because they get trapped at one point.
Yeah.
Super simple plot and everything, and the action is great.
Yeah, fantastic.
Exploding heads, like I said, the slow motion shots.
There's
fantastic.
One point where Carl Urban, as Judge Dredd, shoots like kind of a flare gun.
Oh yeah,
that like shotgun sprays outwards.
Oh yeah,
and then he ends up like burning 10 people at once. We're all like falling off balconies and
good
shit.
stunt choreography in this too.
Yeah,
definitely believe it.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
And then the other one was this is the movie that I switched over to from The Expendables. I watched for the first time Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh, very cool.
With Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt.
So that's what you meant by the time loop thing.
Yes, yeah, that was what I was talking
earlier
about.
Off air, but yeah.
No, I think it was on air.
Was it?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah, because you were talking about your Haruhi
Suzumiya. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it. I'm kind of sad that I slept on it for so long.
Yeah, it's very so. For those of you that confuse it with what was the other marketing title?
The original title was called Edge of Tomorrow, and then like 2 weeks before it came out, they switched it to their marketing title, which was Live, Die, Repeat.
Yeah.
And now for the home release, they also have Live, Die, Repeat, but in parentheses, it's Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah. They needed to just keep it with the original manga title, which was All You
Need
Is
Is Kill, which
is an amazing
the
title.
best title for that you could have had, and you just threw it away.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was looking up earlier when you were talking about Hobbs and Shaw, and along the same lines of titles that are better. In Japan, do you know what the title is for Fast and the Furious?
I forgot. No, somebody else read them off on a podcast that I listened to. I think it's like Supercar Fast Man or something.
Might as well.
Yeah.
But it's even better.
All right, tell me them.
Wild Speed.
Wild Speed.
Yeah, is just like the franchise name.
Yeah.
And then for Fate of the Furious, it was...
Wild Speed, Submarine Explosion.
Basically. It was like Wild Speed Icebreaker or something. Go away.
That's not bad for I mean, it makes more sense.
No, I think it's a great title is what I'm getting at.
You know what you're getting into when you think of Wild Speed.
Icebreak. That's even better than Icebreaker.
Icebreak. Is it like ice space break?
Uh-huh. Wild Speed : Icebreak.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Great title. But yeah, All You Need Is Kill. I think they should have really went with that.
And then just stick with it, all right? Because people will be curious about that title and like, oh, is that Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt in a sci-fi film?
No.
And I guarantee you 90% of the people that have seen that movie don't know that it's based off a manga.
I wouldn't say 90. That's pretty high.
A large majority.
50%, 50 or 60%, I would say.
A majority of people who have seen it don't know it's based
I
on
went
manga.
into it knowing that, but that's just because I had learned that after release.
Right.
So, I'm sure a large portion of the initial
Yeah, that's
audience.
what I'm saying. Sorry.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you were just all in and invested on this action stuff.
No, I was not. That's what I'm like. The most actiony thing that I tried to watch, Expendables.
Yeah.
I dropped like immediately.
Well, I mean, you did more homework than I did, which was watching anime instead. But that's because I had seen all these movies and I can recall them from memory, just because I watched them a lot when I was a kid.
And like, granted, there are ones that I've seen that we didn't really talk about. Like, I've seen Crank, I've seen Triple X, which quality varies for those. And then, like, just getting into how you classify an over the top action movie. Like, I didn't watch Die Hard, even though I fucking love Die Hard, because I don't really, for whatever reason, that wasn't just over the top action for me. That was also like, oh, there's some narrative and story here. So I guess, like, I was like classifying my watch, at least for things that I knew going in, as like things you don't really have to think about too much.
That's fair. I mean, that makes sense. I was just going for big explosions.
That's fine.
Just thinking of movies with big explosions.
Edge of Tomorrow, though, really good. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah. They're working on a sequel.
Supposedly they're working on a sequel. Do you know the name of this sequel?
Live, Die, Repeat 2?
No. It's dumb. I don't like it.
What was it?
It's Live, Die, Repeat, and Repeat.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
That's like Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Have anything else to
add? It wraps up a little cleanly for me, for my taste. But
for
Edge
All
of
You
Tomorrow.
Need Is Kill.
Yeah.
That's what I'm calling it.
Well, I won't call it that because from my understanding, it's fairly different from the source material.
Oh, yeah. They take drastic strides, but that's because they changed the ethnicity
also,
of characters. And
why the hell did Emily Blunt throw her helicopter blade sword away so fast?
She's an action star hero.
She needs to keep the helicopter blade. That thing was cool, man.
It is cool, but okay. Full transparency, it's been a while since I've seen it because I saw it in theaters then I saw it after.
Yeah.
So we're on two different wavelengths with this movie. Still, we both agree it's a good film to watch.
Yeah.
A lot of these films were. Required watch. So what's a great required watch for this week?
You go first.
You son of a bitch. So it's going to be one of the movies that we mentioned earlier. I actually think Dredd is a good.
Yes,
very good.
I'll put my stamp on that too. Go
so
watch
Dredd / The Raid because they both have very similar premises.
No.
Premises. But they both do two drastically different type of stories.
Yeah.
And then let's see. What's another one that we mentioned? Of course, everyone's seen Die Hard.
Yeah, Die Hard's a good one. Go watch Die Hard.
Die Hard. Shoot 'em up, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
There is a lot of nudity and action in that as well. But like, if you're able to watch Dredd and you're able to watch,
You're good.
if you're able to watch Dredd, and everything else, because a lot of these over the top action movies are rated R.
Yeah,
In fact,
yeah.
I think just about every single one we mentioned, except for Last Action Hero, is rated R.
Rundown's not. It's PG-13.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
Is it Edge of Tomorrow?
Edge of Tomorrow's PG-13.
Yeah.
That's right. So, a lot of these are rated R. So a lot of gore and
Yeah.
violence and nudity. Be respectful of the people that watch the movies around you and all that stuff.
Yeah. For my watch, I'll say Children of Men, even though we briefly
Oh wow!
briefly mentioned
Okay,
it.
that's a good.
Totally not related at all, but yeah, go watch Children of Men.
Clive Owen. Yeah.
Great camera work. I mean, just
That one shot.
the one shot. Oh man, it's so good.
It's the premise is women stop giving birth, and then 19 years later, people are dying off. People are killing each other.
But then there's a
Post-apocalypse.
baby.
But then there's a baby, so Clive Owen's got to escort him to a safe place. Great film. Directed by Alfonso Cuarón of Prisoner of Azkaban and Gravity and all this other stuff.
One of those is better than the other.
I like all of his stuff, really.
I mean, Azkaban is a well-made movie.
It just shouldn't have been a Harry Potter movie.
Yeah.
It's better when he does his
He
own
took
stuff.
some liberties.
Yeah,
with it.
that's okay.
He
That's
didn't
okay.
even know. I'm going to be one of those people who's like, you don't even know what you're talking about, man.
I know what I'm talking about. I know
No,
Alfonso
not
Cuarón.
you, Alfonso Cuarón.
Oh, okay.
He
Yeah.
didn't know the source material when he got the job. But then neither did Michael Gambon, so whatever.
Yeah. We're going to camp up Dumbledore. Fabulous. But yeah, thank you for reminding me of Required Watch.
You're welcome after the read.
Only because in the very soon future, very close future, it's probably going to be phased out for another
Yeah.
feature. So
Well, we'll just have to get it in there while we can.
fine. I'll remember next time. But thank you so much for listening to Nicknames Movies, episode number 14, where we talked over-the-top action films. You can visit us on Twitter at NixUnderFire and at FullMetal_Z. Patreon, TeePublic, all that stuff. I said it earlier.
Yeah, you do.
All right. Bye.
I didn't do it.
Oh, ooh, mysterious.